As for our 37 practices of a bodhisattva, in addition, the Venerable Atisha said, with wrong views one cannot realize the true meaning. If we hold wrong views, there is definitely no way to realize the true meaning. Therefore, we must thoroughly examine the true meaning and use wisdom to investigate the reality of the ultimate and conventional truths. He also said, practice the nature of skillful means, and by practicing that wisdom, one swiftly attains enlightenment. If we practice the nature of skillful means, the 5 perfections, as well as cultivate the perfection of wisdom, then this person will quickly attain enlightenment. Supreme wisdom is precisely non-attachment to all things. In the words of my perfect teacher, it is specifically explained that regarding the 6 perfections, for example, when someone is teaching the Dharma, all 6 perfections can be fully accomplished. Later, the scriptural authority of Milarepa was cited, stating that all 6 perfections are practiced without attachment. All are of the nature of emptiness, embraced by the emptiness of the 3 spheres. This has also been explained, hasn't it? And it is also said that if one realizes emptiness, then the practice of the 6 perfections is encompassed within that realization. If one realizes emptiness, then the 6 perfections become much easier. If one has not realized emptiness, then practicing the 6 perfections may not be so complete. Geshe Potowa also taught this. He also cited scriptural authority from the condensed Prajnaparamita Sutra, saying that in fact all the perfections can all be included within the practice of the perfection of wisdom, because the other perfections, such as generosity, morality, and so on, are all called perfections. But ultimately, they must all be subsumed within the perfection of wisdom. If there is no perfection of wisdom, then, as mentioned before, the other 5 perfections are like the blind, they cannot function. Venerable Gunbawa said, the very root of wisdom is to observe one's own mind. The 5 perfections are included within the perfection of wisdom. As for the perfection of wisdom, ultimately, it is still necessary to observe one's own mind. If your own mind has already realized freedom from elaboration, emptiness, and luminosity, then the perfection is complete. These teachings explain the need to meditate on emptiness, to realize the most supreme wisdom of non-inherent existence. Skillful means and wisdom are both indispensable, both are needed together. Many Mahayana sutras truly teach this. Great compassion and wisdom are both essential, neither can be lacking. They are like the wings of a bird. If you have one but lack the other, there's no way to soar in the sky of liberation. At the beginning, hearing wisdom, broad learning, and extensive study is very important. On this point, Venerable Atisha also said, before realizing the true nature, one needs to listen to the teachings. Therefore, you must receive the pith instructions from your teacher. Look, what is said here is that in the past, I also had certain passages in this commentary that I memorized and always paid close attention to. So this scriptural authority was something I always valued highly when I first arrived, because before you realize the true nature, before attaining realization like a first Bhumi Bodhisattva, you still need to receive teachings from other virtuous teachers, to listen to the Dharma. So the pith instructions from the teacher are indispensable. Some of us, after listening to the 5 great treatises, think, I don't need to listen anymore. We feel as if we've already mastered the entire path of study, as if we've already graduated from everything. But that's actually not the case. Many great masters among the predecessors have always continued to listen to the Dharma without interruption. Isn't it mentioned in some teachings that even a 3rd Bhumi Bodhisattva still has to cross a pit of fire and undergo hardships to seek the Dharma? As for us, we haven't even reached the 1st Bhumi Bodhisattva. We may not have even attained the stages of warmth or patience. Yet after studying just a few treatises, we become so arrogant that we refuse to learn from any virtuous teacher, thinking that we have already attained realization ourselves. This is a kind of arrogance, or you could call it wrong pride, or simply ego pride. There are so many forms of pride present. What I really hope is that all of you here should still listen to the Dharma here in front of these Khenpos and Khenmos. It's not necessarily about listening to me. You can listen to me or not, it's up to you. But after passing away, oh, at that time I didn't listen. That's just how people are. When someone is still around, people don't necessarily value them much. But once they're gone, then people say, oh, what a pity. I should have listened to this back then. I should have studied this. So when we have the opportunity, no matter which spiritual teacher it is, we should listen to more Dharma teachings ourselves. And when it comes to listening to the Dharma, it's fine to listen to the same teaching many times. The more you listen, the more you will gain from it. It's also good to listen to teachings from different teachers. It's also fine to listen in front of Dharma teachers. If your mind is pure, I think that's enough. Including among us here, the various Khenpos and Khenmos who teach the Dharma to everyone should all be qualified to give teachings. So we should maintain a pure mind ourselves. If you don't have a pure mind, no matter what kind of teacher appears before you, it will only manifest as a cause for wrong views. And that's all it will be, a cause for wrong views. You see, I think this sentence is important. Before realizing the true nature of reality, you must listen to the Dharma. Everyone should remember this. Indeed, when it comes to listening to the Dharma, we should never feel satisfied. At a certain point, some of our Khenpos and Khenmos are still very diligent in listening to the Dharma. Even though they may have certain academic degrees or qualifications, they remain very humble in front of others and listen more. If they haven't received a transmission, they make sure to receive it. If they haven't received a teaching, they make sure to get it. Even after receiving it once, they continue to listen again. Some Dharma teachers have already, if you look at the biography of the precious Guru, there are different sayings. He listened many times in front of others, both to the way of the Bodhisattva and 37 practices of a Bodhisattva. I feel 37 practices of a Bodhisattva, so simple. Yet someone as wise as His Holiness still listened to it so many times. Why is that? Sometimes everyone should also understand this. The more you listen to the Dharma, the more it can transform your mind stream. The great yogi, who should be the teacher of Atisha, Dharma Rakshita, was it him? It might have been him. He said this: if you venerable ones wish to attain Buddhahood, without extensive study and contemplation, the scriptures and treatises carried on the back of a zoyak, but only study and contemplate within the scope of a palm's width, no matter how much you practice in seclusion, in the end you will accomplish nothing. Everyone knows this, right? This view is quite similar to that of Venerable Longchenpa. If you truly wish to attain Buddhahood, then at the very least all these numerous and ancient books are the sacred scriptures and profound treatises carried on the sturdy back of a powerful yak. Among all the various yaks, the Zo is indeed the specific one that possesses the remarkable ability to carry the most substantial weight. It should be able to carry several hundred jin without a problem. Generally among cattle, the Zo is the strongest. It's like the elephant among animals. If an ordinary yak can carry 200 jin, then a Zo should be able to carry 300 or 400 jin easily. So if we want to be well-read and knowledgeable, each of us should look for ourselves. How many Dharma texts have you heard? Do you need a Zo to carry them? Maybe you've only heard the way of the Bodhisattva, entering the way of the Bodhisattva, or the 7 key points of mind training, just one of each. You don't need a Zo for that. You could fit them all in a small backpack and carry them on your own back. Or you don't even need to carry them on your back, just hold them in your hand. But you're still so arrogant, thinking, I've already listened to the words of my perfect teacher. I've already studied it. As for the 400 verses on the middle way and the entering the middle way, I haven't studied any of the others. But I feel that's enough. I think that's already pretty good. If I study more, it will just increase my discursive thoughts. I already have enough. Actually, this is just study and contemplation within a palm-sized scope. Maybe this is just a metaphor. The scriptures and treatises you've studied are very, very few. So no matter how you try to cite them or how you try to explain things to others, it might not have any effect. So truly many great masters of the past have believed that one should still study widely and learn broadly. You can't just study 1 or 2 sutras. It's not enough to say, I've studied the 5 Pure Land Sutras, so that's enough. Or, I just recite Amitabha Buddha, and that's enough. Or, I just recite the Chan School's treatise on the bloodline, and that's enough. Last year, I met a lay practitioner who said, I've now finished studying the treatise on the bloodline. He said, I don't want to study anymore, that's enough. I said, have you become obsessed? I didn't really say much about it, just once over the phone, a brief conversation. Puchongwa Geshe also mentioned in his teachings that some individuals open a sacred book and carefully place it by their pillow, then say, this is what I'm going to study. But they never actually read it, and instead comfort themselves by saying, as long as I praise it in my heart, that's enough. What's there in Buddhism that I don't understand? There really are people like this nowadays. It's just a single book. Or, I've taken refuge before my teacher, but have never listened to a complete treatise. Truly, many Buddhists nowadays lack sufficient knowledge. There are countless sutras and treatises. Look at us here. Anyone who even slightly enjoys hearing and contemplating knows, if you've studied the Entering the Way of the Great Vehicle, wow, this is also very good. It should be studied. You've studied Madhyamaka, Pramana, and Abhidharmakosha. Wow, this should be studied, as if you feel that if you haven't studied it, you feel very ignorant, very foolish. That's the kind of feeling you get. But after studying, you feel completely different. So some of us just leave a book or 2 on our desks, just casually place 1 or 2 books there. Some Buddhists are like this. They only have 1 book. Some Buddhists don't even have a single book. They go an entire year without reading even 1 book. These are Buddhists in appearance only. They really don't study anything at all. They don't practice anything either, nor do they observe the precepts. If that's the case, calling oneself a Buddhist, in reality there's nothing of a Buddhist about them. And then there's Venerable Rawa. Was it Karawa? I haven't checked the Tibetan text. He said, before attaining Buddhahood, learning has no end. Only when you become a Buddha can it be concluded. Some of us seem to have already become Buddhas and don't want to study anymore. We've already attained Buddhahood and have been Buddhas for many years now. For several years there has been no study or contemplation. They must have already attained Buddhahood. In our institute there are quite a few Buddhas, apparently. Furthermore, Bodhisattva Thogme Sangpo also said, without wisdom one cannot attain liberation. One should understand the profound meaning of the two truths. In this profound way, the 5 perfections, such as the boundless generosity, extending all the way up to the other shore of enlightenment, all fundamentally depend upon profound wisdom. Indeed, all 5 of these essential perfections truly rely completely on wisdom for their full realization. All dharmas are said to be the path to enlightenment, so one should cultivate the perfection of wisdom. The 4 means of gathering disciples, when meaningful, bring great benefit. This particular statement should refer to the 4 essential means of attraction, such as, for example, kind speech. Have you actually found it yet? Why haven't you managed to find it yet? The perfection of wisdom, let me look for it in Tibetan. Is it Karawa then? Yes, Sharawa. Specifically just add Sha to complete the phrase. All right, let's bring our discussion to a close here for today, concluding this particular segment of our learning. The Venerable One, with profound dedication, also deeply aspired to diligently cultivate and fully realize the profound 3 kinds of wisdom, and he meticulously and genuinely practiced them with unwavering commitment and sincere effort. Om Bandara Banma Sodargye